Hello, America, and welcome. By now, you know, unless you live under a rock, about the second attempt on the life of former President Donald Trump. The second attempt took place this past Sunday around 2 p.m. at a golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida. The alleged shooter's name is Ryan Wesley Routh from North Carolina. And you'll pardon me if I took a while to make this video, but those of you who follow me know very well the reason that I took a while to make this is because I'm not some bozo who just wants to get up here and rant. It is important to me, because of my background in journalism, to make sure that we have the best knowledge and the most accurate facts that we can possibly obtain at the moment. So it took me a while because I wanted to make sure that I had all the facts straight. And according to what we know, I believe that this man was trying to pull the United States and the rest of the world into World War III. Now, that's a big claim, but I want to play for you some footage that has been obtained by Newsweek that was shot over 2 years ago of Mr. Routh in the Ukraine talking about why he is in Ukraine and trying to drum up support for the Russia-Ukraine war on behalf of the Ukrainians from all the nations of the world. I want you to listen to this and then we'll keep talking about it. It's going to be about 10 minutes, but it's worth the listen. Take a listen to this.
From North Carolina originally, so live in Hawaii now, so flew all the way from Hawaii here. So the question as far as why I'm here, to me, you know, a lot of the other conflicts are gray, but this conflict is definitely black and white. This is about good versus evil. This is a storybook, you know, any movie we've ever watched, this is definitely evil against good. I mean, we're battling a situation here where, you know, the Ukrainians and the rest of the world are caring and kind and generous and unselfish and take care of one another, and it's just a matter of, you know, we need to stand up for that. That is the most important thing in the world, is just to show human beings that we're kind and we're caring and that we take care of one another and that the world is united so that we feed each other and make sure that, you know, we all move forward as one collective whole unit. So, you know, we feel the pain of one country's failure and their conflicts, and we enjoy the successes of other countries that are doing good, and we all work together. And for some reason, Russia does not grasp this concept that we're all one unit, and we have to get along and work together and be normal human beings. This is 2022. We have to work together. It seems asinine that we have a leader in a country that does not understand the concept of being unselfish and being generous and being kind and just the basic moral values that are required by human beings these days. It blows my mind.
And what are you doing here in Ukraine?
My initial goal was to come and fight. I think, you know, everybody around the globe should be motivated to come here and support the Ukrainians and support the army, no matter what gender, age, anything. Everybody should be here supporting the army. But I'm 56, so initially they were like, well, I have no military experience, so they're like, you're not an ideal candidate. So they said, not right this minute. So plan B was to come here to Kyiv and promote getting more people here. You know, we need thousands and thousands and thousands of people here fighting with the Ukrainians. We need, you know, we've got 190 countries around the world, and we need thousands from all of them. If the governments will not send their official military, then we civilians have to pick up the torch and make this thing happen. And we've gotten some wonderful people here, but it's a small fraction of the number that should be here. If we have 5,000, you know, to 10,000 people here fighting, you know, that is just a minuscule amount of the 5 billion people on the globe. You know, we need everyone here fighting. That's why I'm in Kyiv. So every project that I promote is about getting people here to support the Ukrainians. We were at a critical juncture in this war where we are sitting on the fence as far as whether good or evil is going to win. You know, right now we're looking at a situation where the world is waning and it's thinking that this is important or not. And we're at a point where, you know, all right, are we going to stand for humanity, for human rights, for everything that is good with the world? Or are we just going to ignore it? You know, if everybody is complacent and doesn't join this fight, then guess who's going to win? It might take 10 years, but we're going to lose this battle if everyone around the globe does not stop what they're doing, get off the couch, and come to Ukraine and defend the human rights of everyone around the globe. This is the most important thing going on in the world today. So sitting around and letting life go on as normal and complaining about gas prices and complaining about, you know, your luxury life in whatever country you live in is unacceptable. As human beings, we must support each other. We cannot turn our backs on anyone around the world and expect the problem to go away. So I've been dealing with Russia for my entire life. You know, we had one period where it was okay, but now we've let it slip back into terrorism. So it's just, the world needs to respond. You know, why world leaders are not sending military is beyond me. We're going to have to elect new leaders the next go around that have a backbone and that, you know, have the fortitude to say, hey, we're not going to tolerate this type of behavior. This type of behavior is unacceptable anywhere, any place, you know. So it's totally unacceptable. And why people are not responding, I do not know.
What impressed you the most since you are here?
My trip to Irpin was pretty emotional. So, you know, going and seeing the buildings that were burned and destroyed and things of that nature. I think more emotional for me is just talking to the guys that have come here. You know, when you talk to a 20-year-old guy that sold everything he owns to come here to fight, that is heroism. You know, he's coming here to risk his life for humanity, for the Ukrainians. You know, guys that sell everything they own to come here and support the Ukrainians while others sit at home and do nothing. You know, it's totally mind-blowing how we have this divide of people that are selfless and courageous and wonderful and willing to sell everything they own to come here and support, you know, keep people from getting killed, to shelter kids and protect Ukrainians, and others that just, you know, want to sit at home and not. It's just, you know, it's an indictment of our entire human society to say, hey, you know, where do we stand? Do we stand for good, or do we just not care? I mean, does the world not care? That's the feeling that I wrestle with every day in my interactions with everybody. You know, every one of us is responsible for the outcome of this war. Every one of us, you know, by our actions and what we do. And, you know, when I call back home and say, hey, I need $5 so I can, you know, put enough money together to get a vest for a Ukrainian, and I get no response, I'm like, I'm not sure that the world is as wonderful as I once thought it was. I had thought that everyone would respond, you know, very generously and unselfishly, and you know, you don't have to come, but, you know, if I ask for $5 to buy a vest to save a Ukrainian life, it seems like that would be a no-brainer. But I increasingly get more disappointed in humanity, and I'm beginning to question whether or not we're going to end up on the right side of this equation.
So you are working with the International Legion.
Yes.
And you are trying to convince people to help, to donate, and to join.
Yeah.
My final question is, what would you say to the people in order to convince them to join the International Legion, or to donate for it, or to be involved in the humanitarian aid to Ukraine?
Right. It's just extremely important, the whole thing. As far as joining the military, you know, yes, if you have some military experience or know people with military experience, encouraging them to come and fight. We have units all over the place. So, you know, there were some leadership issues initially, but we've got so many units available to us: Georgian, Crimean, Ukrainian, territorial defense, Foreign Legion. We have, so many paramilitary groups. I put a 74-year-old Japanese guy in a unit. So, we have girls in units. So we have two girls that are in the unit up the street. So any gender, any age, any skill level to no skill level. But yeah, if you want to fight, come here and see me, and I'll put you in a unit so you can go fight. But regardless of that, we should have thousands upon thousands of people standing here with the Ukrainians. This Maiden Square, Independence Square, we should have millions of people in this square, filling the square from every country around the world. And why we don't, I don't understand. I'm here every day with all the flags from all the supporting countries, with the memorials for the people that have died. And, I've had several people come, but just a handful, So it blows my mind that I'm standing here alone without thousands of people from every country, from Asia, from Africa, from Australia, from Canada, from everywhere in South America, every place.
Europe.
Europe, everywhere. We need everybody here. If you have no skills, just come. We need to be cheerleaders. Just being here and saying, hey, I support the Ukrainians, and I support human rights, and I support good and generosity and caring and kindness and altruism, and it's just we need to show the world that we care, and it's essential. If you don't do any work at all, just being here and supporting and showing them that we care for our fellow human beings is the most important thing we can do.
Now, I realize that it's a big claim that Mr. Routh is single-handedly trying to start World War III. But everything about this man, based on what we know right now, seems that he is overly obsessed with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And according to his own words, as you just heard, thinks that it's the most important issue facing the world today, and has been trying to drum up support from America and all the other nations in the free world. And according to the information that I found, he wrote a book, this is according to the Associated Press, in 2023, which he self-published, called Ukraine's Unwinnable War. Everything points back to Ukraine. So I don't think that it's a stretch to say that he wanted to assassinate former President Donald Trump because Trump wants to keep America out of the Russia-Ukraine war. And I agree with that. It's not America's affair. Let the nations of the world handle their own business the way they wish to do it. And America should strive for peace with all nations, unless it is directly in our interest and we are defending ourselves. America should not be involved in foreign conflicts. I told you this before. Mr. Routh seems to think that if America does not get involved, that the world will go to hell in a handbasket. I strongly disagree. But I believe that's why he was trying to do this, according to the information we have right now. Because everything goes back to Ukraine. He has been caught on video, in a propaganda video of sorts, it seems, in Kiev with other people from across the world trying to get the West involved in this conflict. So it's not a stretch to think that. And it concerns me that a mentally deranged man who has multiple felonies, why is he allowed out in public? This man had a fully automatic rifle in 2002 and plastic explosives He was caught in a police checkpoint in 2002 with these things. God knows what he was going to do with them. He also has been charged with misdemeanor crimes of stealing goods to obtain cocaine. This man is not in the right head and was trying to commit an act of terrorism because he was disgruntled with Donald Trump. According to reports, also from the Associated Press, he voted for Donald Trump in the past, and I think he was a little bit disillusioned because perhaps he thought that Donald Trump would pull America into the war. Now, Donald Trump is no warmonger, and it's interesting to me that he supported Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, and Nikki Haley as well. The only one that doesn't really make sense to me, besides Donald Trump, is Tulsi Gabbard. If you think America should police the world, why vote for someone who says we should stay out of foreign conflicts? But the other two people are warmongers. I wouldn't put it past them that if they were in charge, that they would be trying to put American boots on the ground. So that doesn't surprise me. But this is a clearly deranged man, and I have questions. Why, if he's committed multiple felonies, was he allowed to even see the light of day? Why was he allowed to have firearms? It's illegal for a felon to possess a firearm in this country. So you have to ask yourself, why did the justice system allow this man, who clearly has a screw loose, out in public? And then he stalked the former president approximately 12 hours before he tried to shoot him. Now, thank God the Secret Service did not allow him to shoot him. But my question to you, my friends, is why was he even allowed anywhere near the perimeter? The Secret Service should have had it on lockdown. They should have been aware of this. It's hard to believe at this point that this stuff is not intentional. Now, I'm not saying that it is, but I think that anyone with a brain wouldn't stop and say, I wonder why this is happening. It's hard to believe that it's not intentional, knowing that this attempt came not even just over 2 months after the first one. There are people in this country who clearly want former President Donald Trump dead. They don't want him to be the President of the United States again. They want total chaos. And why do they want chaos? Because they want to use that chaos to usher in a totalitarian state. When people are outraged and confused, they will come in as the savior, saying only I can fix it. This is not a reach, my friends. There are powerful people in this world that want to see America go down the drain and be no more. Why? Because they hate everything that we stand for. They hate freedom. And I've told you before that I, like Ronald Reagan, believe that America is the world's last greatest hope. We are the last stand of freedom. And those people, the ones I just told you about, the ones that want to cause chaos, want to cause chaos because they want to destroy our system. They want to destroy our Constitution, which has protected freedom and ensured peace and prosperity for nearly 300 years at this point. And they don't like that. They don't like the threat that we pose. And so they want to do away with us. And what better way to cause chaos and for the American people just to cry out for someone to do something than to have a former president and current presidential candidate assassinated, and for over half the American people to feel that they've had their choice taken away. And the media knows it. That's why they keep calling him Hitler, because they want crazy, deluded, deranged people like this Routh to think that they must take him out, that they're doing something good. But this man is not in the right head. You don't need me to tell you that. But you have to wonder why this man was allowed to see the light of day in the first place. It's hard to believe that there are not some people that let this happen on purpose. And I'll tell you this, the media, the state-sponsored media, I'm not even going to call them mainstream anymore, guys, because they are state-sponsored propagandists who literally call Donald Trump Hitler, are in large part to blame for both of these attacks on the former president's life. Because when you get a deranged person in a position to be able to take out a man that they believe is Hitler, what do you think they're going to do? As I told you, this man should have been locked away. He had plastic explosives in 2002 and a fully automatic machine gun. And we just allowed this guy out on the streets. We allowed this man, who was supposed to undergo a mental evaluation. By the way, the results of that mental evaluation are not even public knowledge. But we allowed this guy to be out on the streets and to access a firearm. This shouldn't surprise anybody. But thank God that Donald Trump is okay. And I believe that it is because of the prayers of people like you and me, Christians in this country, who love God and love our way of life, that Donald Trump is being preserved from the forces of evil that would wish to take him out. And it's not about Donald Trump. This is about our way of life. And I believe that God is hearing the prayers of the faithful. And he says, you will not take away the choice of the American people. The scriptures say, choose out from among yourselves leaders from the tens, hundreds, and thousands. God will not allow the choice of the American people to be taken away. But we must do our job. We must get off our asses and we must go to the polls. We must take someone to the polls and vote for the man that is willing to take a bullet for this country. That is an important message. That is what I'm trying to convey to you today. That there is more at stake, and that there are crazy people that are, I believe at this point, it's hard to say, are not being intentionally allowed out in public just for the hope that they might take him out. We may never know the full details of why this man was allowed out in public to begin with. And I promise that if I find out any updates on this, I will let you know. But this is disgusting that this has happened twice in a period of not even quite 2 months. And too many people are making light of it. This should not happen in America. This is not our way. We are a people of peace, and we are a people of freedom and justice. And this is disgusting. I don't care who you vote for. The fact that a former president has had 2 attempts on his life, and not enough people are outraged by this. That saddens me. We are better than this, and we must be better than this. If you agree with me, please do me a favor. Please share this video. Please like it because it helps out the algorithm. And subscribe to my channel for more content. I'll see you in the next one, guys. God bless you, and God bless America.